Welcome to Kalima Horra with me, George Galloway, coming to you from London, but discussing Russia, China, and the New World Order. Mayadeen television, Kalima Horra, free word. We have an audience of distinguished experts and one or two enthusiastic amateurs like me. The proximate cause of this discussion was the G7 meeting in Biarritz, when, sharp-eyed as always, I spotted some interesting omissions and additions. For example, the bankrupt economy of Italy was represented by the then pro-tem Prime Minister, but India was not represented. China was not represented. Russia was not represented. Indeed, Russia had been specifically excluded from this. So I got to thinking, what kind of world forum is it where some of the world's biggest economies are not present, some of the world's biggest political players are not present, where the maestro, the greatest foreign minister on the planet, Mr. Lavrov, would not be allowed to enter, whilst other countries with lesser claims to be there were present? It would mean necessarily that some of the world's biggest economic issues could not properly be addressed, and certainly that some of the world's biggest political issues could not be addressed. I choose one almost at random. The Kashmir question between India and Pakistan, both sides nuclear armed, then warming up to what looked like a potential all-out war between them. Well, that couldn't be on the agenda because neither country was there. And thinking more about it, it seemed to me that the G7 meeting in Biarritz was like looking into a museum of the past big players, excluding the new big players as a matter of deliberate policy. A relic, in other words, a relic of a unipolar world which existed, historically speaking, only briefly and no longer exists at all. China is the most populous country in the world. China is either the biggest or the second biggest economy in the world, the biggest army in the world, an absolute giant. What madness is this not to want to hear from them? Russia is the biggest country in Europe. Moscow is the biggest city in Europe. Russia is at the heart of many of the great issues currently being played out in the world. What madness is that to keep them out of the G7? This relic, of course, is important. The countries in it are important. All countries are important. But they are all ways of, if you like, bypassing the world forum that is supposed to exist, in which all countries have membership, which is the proper place for these big international issues to be addressed. But they can't be, because the United Nations is in stasis. It is literally a bystander to all of the great international issues. Nothing can be agreed there. The prestige and importance of the General Assembly is practically zero, and the Security Council absolutely deadlocked, with the United States, Russia, and China essentially vetoing any initiative by the other, representing a logjam in international relations.